opening the hips with part 2 of this sequence, especially with some Prasarita Padottanasana. So stand at the center of your mat facing sideways and jump out to have the legs wide. Hands to the hips, lean back and then fold forwards, turning the big toes in slightly so the heels are further apart, hands under the shoulders. Inhale, look halfway up, and exhale. Bring the top of the head as close to the ground as you can get it. We don't actually want the crown of the head to touch the ground just yet, so if it does touch, bring the feet in closer. Try to keep the elbows about shoulder width apart. Inhale, look halfway up. Then grab a hold of the big toes with the peace fingers of each hand. And again, exhale, fold forward. So we want the elbows bent. Lifting the elbows up towards the ceiling, keeping them out to the sides. Opening the upper back, thoracic cavity, creating an open home for the heart. This will allow love and joy to enter your heart space more freely. Inhale. Return the hands back to the center and bring the left hand directly under the heart space, lifting the right arm all the way up. Either keep the fingers pointing up or reach around, grab a hold of your inner left thigh to take a bind. So a second option with the bind is grabbing the outside of the right ankle with the left hand, so twisting through the whole spine. When you're ready, inhale, release, and bring the right hand underneath the heart space on the floor. Inhale, left arm can come up. Either stay there or reach around, binding the inner right thigh, looking up to the ceiling. Optional, grabbing the outside of the left ankle with that right hand, twisting through the whole spine. Inhale, open the arms up, and exhale, release both hands to the floor. Inhale, looking halfway up. Bring the top of the head down to the floor. This time we actually do want it to touch the ground. So you can either stay here in Prasarita Padottanasana, or you can inhale and lift the arms up, coming into tripod headstand. So the hands are slightly in front of the face, not right next to the head. Activating Mula Bandha, keeping the core stable. And bring the feet down with control. You don't have to come up into headstand. In Prasarita Padottanasana, you can, with the feet on the floor, you can just interlock the arms, bring the hands over the head. On the floor, bring the hands back to the hips, inhale, come back up. We work with different muscles now, like adductors or inner thigh muscles. So turn the toes out this time, heels are closer. Bring the pelvis towards the floor, coming into a horse rider stance or squat. You can either bring the hands in line with the shoulders, or bring the palms together above the head. Hold this for 5 to 10 breaths, and then bring the hands to the knees, twisting to the right. So straight left arm, and then twisting to the left, straighten the right arm, bending the left elbow, looking up towards the sky. Keep the pelvis low. Come back to center, hands to the hips, and then turn the toes back to the front, hands to heart. You're going to fold forward one more time, bring the hands to the floor. Feet further apart this time, so we're moving into full front splits. Again, use your hands for support and try to keep your feet flat on the ground. If you like, you can turn the toes up towards the ceiling. Try to bring your pelvis forward. Listen to the wisdom of your body. Inhale, lift the arms up. So you don't have to have 180 degrees between your legs, you can just have 90. Variation, leaning to the left. So bringing that left shoulder as close as you can to the inner left knee, right arm overhead. So twisting in our front splits. Coming into the other side, right elbow to the inside of the right. Inhale, lifting the left arm up, grabbing the toes. Coming back to center when you're ready. One hand behind, one hand forward to help lift you up. And come back into an easy cross-legged posture, Somakonasana. Okay, everyone, today we're going to make a really lovely treat. We're going to make completely raw chocolate pudding, and I'm going to use bananas as the base of the pudding. So what I've got here is 3 frozen bananas just chopped up. It's a good idea with your ripe bananas just to break them into parts and put them in a bag in the freezer. And they're really good for things like green smoothies, desserts, puddings, all types of things that I can show you in the future. So I'm just going to throw these in my blender. 2 or 3 is good, and going to make quite a big pudding because this is kind of my lunch today. And with that, we put in a little bit of water. And because we want to make it a pudding, you don't want to put too much in, maybe 1/4 to 1/2 cup. So the first thing I'm going to do is put in some cocoa powder. Now, this is Nestle cocoa powder because it was the best I could get. But if possible, you want to get some really good quality organic cacao powder. And make sure it doesn't have any junk in it, like sugar or fillers or anything like that. So I'm just going to put 2 heaped teaspoons of that in. You can always add more later if you want. I'm going to blend that up. So you may need to stop it at times and get a big spoon in there and stir it around, because sometimes the blender will get stuck. The smaller the frozen banana bits are, the easier this is going to be. So just do that a couple of times and blend it till it's smooth. So the next thing you can add is a little bit of chai spices. I like to do this, you don't have to of course. I've got about 1/2 to 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon in to give a beautiful sweet nutty flavour. And also a little bit of ground nutmeg, maybe half the amount that you put in the cinnamon, depending on your taste. So 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of that. Blend it up one last time. So if you use frozen bananas, it'll give it, this is what we've got, it'll give it that creamy, smooth and cold texture. This is what it looks like to finish. If you want to make it sweeter, you can put in some honey and dates. But I find the natural sweetness of the bananas, especially if they're quite ripe, and the cacao powder and the cinnamon already enough. And to finish with, I've got some nuts, some dried fruit and some black chia seeds. So you can just add whatever nuts and seeds you want. This meal combines as a nut and seed based meal, even though it is based on bananas. Bananas are like coconuts in the way that they are both a starch and can also be combined with nuts and seeds. So if you want to find out more about food combining correctly, you can come to one of my workshops, or you can check out my site and look at my nutrition information that I've got there. So I'm just going to sprinkle this on top. I've got some sultanas, some pepitas or pumpkin seeds, some dates. So this is quite a high energy meal. It's really good if you've come back from a long workout or you've done a particularly hard yoga session. And just some mixed raw nuts. It's really important to make sure that they're in. You can even mix it in a little bit. And there you have it, an extremely yummy chocolate pudding that's full of really good enzymes, vitamins, and especially the minerals, zinc and selenium in those nuts, especially the Brazil nuts. Eat up and enjoy.